Well, hello, how are you? Welcome to Tiny House Customs. I'm Dan. Now I know I said I was going to do a electrical install video, but I just didn't do it because every time I touch anything that has electricity running through it, I get reamed out in the comments. I will do a video about how to do what I did, but on a smaller scale on a little board so you can watch it and kind of learn how to do it, but from somebody who doesn't know how to do it. So that's probably a horrible idea, but I'm going to do it. I think it's in my head. So in this video, what I'm going to do is show you what I've done. So in this tiny house, I've installed 19 light switches and 25 outlets, and I've counted numerous times and I always get different numbers. I really want to put one more light switch in that doesn't do anything, kind of just like randomly on the wall. Like people will come in and be like, what does this do? Nothing. It's just there to make it 20 light switches, and you found it. Right when you walk in the front door, I've got Control Central right here. Basically, this is going to operate 90% of the whole house. These two top light switches are for the exterior. This first light switch will do the deck and the porch. The second light switch does the front of the trailer and the back of the trailer, so it lights up back there. So that's good. Those are not on dimmer switches. Don't need any dimming lights out there. That's just perfectly fine with me. And then these three switches right here control a majority of the house. This first light switch, when you walk in, controls the living room. So when I walk in, I can light this area up and I'm good. This is on a dimmer switch. This is all the way up. This is all the way down. I normally keep it right in the middle, but I noticed that on camera it looks a little offensive. Like, do you see that? Like, it looks a little bad. It's not that bad in person. I did install 6-inch can lights. You might want to look at maybe 4-inch can lights. Those look a little bit better in a tiny house, but overall it's pretty good. Generally when I'm filming, I'll keep them all the way up like this to light up what I'm working on. So on video it looks horrible. Or I look horrible. Yeah, I look horrible, but it helps with, you know, showing what I'm doing. But right here is generally pretty good. This second light switch controls those two lights right there, which are the kitchen. Those again are on dimmer switches. And this last switch right here controls the bedroom, which you can't see. This one is not on a dimmer switch, but what's great about these three light switches is that they're all three-way switches. So downstairs in my bedroom, I've got this same setup. Right next to my bed, I've got this switch which controls the bedroom, and then the kitchen and the living room. So when I'm in bed and I want to come upstairs, take a leak, to leave, whatever, I can turn those switches on or off and I can come upstairs and it's light. When I'm leaving the house and I realize, oh, I left my bedroom light on, I don't have to crawl all the way back down in there to shut the bedroom off. I can just flip it right here and I'm good to go. So downstairs in the bedroom, I have the dimmer switch down there, so I can control the dimming down there in the bedroom for this light switch. But I'm very happy with this. If you're gonna do a loft, I recommend doing three-way switches. They're a little bit more complicated to wire up, but once you figure it out, there's schematics that you can look up online and figure it out. It took me maybe 3 or 4 tries to finally nail it, and I didn't burn my house down. Jinxing myself severely with that comment. So over in this corner, I'm gonna have my couch. You know, the one I've been talking about so much. Yeah, I can't wait for it. I know, it's gonna be great. Honey, give me a beer. So this right here is one of very few lights that I haven't finished. I think maybe like 3 points that I haven't completed. But right here I've got a wire that comes down into the box. I'm going to be installing this right here. So that will get mounted on right here. Now again, I'm sitting way too close because the couch will be about... So that's going to get mounted on right here. I'm going to have a light switch right here which will control that, and another outlet. When I'm sitting here, if I'm on my computer or something, I can plug in here. If that's inconvenient, I can plug down there. I was figuring more smartphone charge right here. I'll probably switch that to a USB charger just to make life easier. But this was an idea that I had, just kind of, if I want to kill all the other lights and kind of make it calm and relaxing in here, I can just have this one on. Most likely I'll put this on a dimmer switch as well. Now I have installed several outlets on these walls right here. This one right here will be for the TV. I'm also going to run some conduit down behind this. I should have put it in already, but I didn't. But I'm going to run my HDMI cables. I'm going to put 3 HDMI cables as well as a coax cable in there, even though you don't need coax, but you never know with technology. And I might run some Cat 5, Cat 6 through there just in case. I want to be prepared for future. Who knows what's going to happen. So this basically will be for the TV that'll be mounted on the wall. Most likely will come up to this level. That'll be the top of the TV, maybe a little higher. You know what, when I'm standing, this makes sense. When I'm sitting, this makes sense. So maybe right in the middle. I just don't want this to be seen. This needs to be behind the TV, and the TV most likely will mount in this general area. Might need to put a block in there. That would have been a good idea. Yeah, and then there is a double outlet down below right there, and also a double outlet right below this wall right here. It's a soft light, but on camera it just doesn't look right. So I'm sorry. Don't beat me up in the comments. You need to get a diffuser with a 1214 defibrillator. Okay, thank you. You're so smart. Oh my God, your parents must be so proud of you. So this is my bar, my eating area. It's a little small, but with the space that I have, you know, I don't know. When I do my countertops, I'm sure it's going to cantilever over the end here a little bit. So I'm going to get 2-3 more inches on this thing. But I also, for the time that I'm going to be sitting here eating versus the amount of time I'm going to spend walking back and forth through this spot, I'd rather have a smaller eating area. I personally think it's going to fit 2 people comfortably, so that's good. But I wanted to have some type of lighting, so I installed a light switch right here. Boom. Ooh, let's get it on. Ooh. But I got a light switch right here which will control these 2 right here. I'm going to put these on dimmers, and these are not LED right now, so they are sucking energy like you wouldn't believe. One day those will be LED light bulbs. I've got an outlet right here, so again, if I'm working on my computer, I can plug in here and continue working. I also installed another outlet below this right here, just kind of hidden out of the way, extra place to charge stuff, plug stuff in. I'm not going to have any lamps in this house. It's all controlled. The whole house is going to be with lights like this. So the light switch is, this doesn't take up any square footage on the ground, which is very important. So a lot of extra mood lighting that I've gotten installed. Gotten installed. I think they're nice. I mean, for like $20, you can't beat it. You got to buy it all separate and stuff, but I think it looks nice. We'll see. Time will tell. I can always get rid of it. You can never add it. So in the kitchen, I just installed these 2 can lights. I thought about adding a 3rd, but after living in it for about 2-3 months with just these 2 lights, I kind of realized that it was all right. I just needed an extra accent light. So I installed this thing right here. So I installed this right here, which is just a bar of lights. You know, there's 4 directional lights. I put a light switch right down here, which will be right above the stove. This will light up this area, so if I'm cooking dinner or whatever, I've got some plans for different things with cabinetry. When I put that vent in, that vent will most likely have a light on it, so I can light up the cooking area. So it's just one of those little extra accent lights to change the mood and the feeling of the house. It's going to add to the ambiance. I'm not like that, trust me, but you know what I mean, right? You following me? Now I also installed several outlets in this space. Right here above the microwave, which will be exposed, is a 20 amp GFI. A lot of kitchen appliances are going to run off 20 amps, so I've got a 20 amp outlet with GFI. So the thing with GFI, I read somewhere in the comments of one of my videos online, basically, which means that you don't believe anything you read or learn online, especially from these videos. But they said anything that's 3 feet away from a water source needs to be GFI. So that is within 3 feet of what will be a kitchen sink. Behind the refrigerator, I got another GFI 20 amp back there. And then right next to this light switch, I've got a 15 amp GFI outlet. This will run a slow cooker, stuff like that. I don't plan on hooking a blender, hair dryer. I don't know, it takes 20 amps, but just a smaller amperage here. And then I've got another light switch which will control the garbage disposal. I know a lot of people have been giving me slack shit on that basically, because, you know, if you have a septic, you should not have a garbage disposal. That is horrible for your septic system. Food does not biodegrade like your shit does. Shit. I just wanted to type shit 7 times in one sentence, so shit on you. Okay. Your mother must love you. I do. But that's good. And then I've got this wire right here that hasn't been hooked up into the thing, which runs up to here, which will go to the vent thing that I was just talking about. So that's good. I'm happy. I'm happy. So then in the bathroom, I've got this light switch right here, which controls the 2 can lights that I have. One directly over the center of the shower, and then one that'll go kind of roughly over the center of the toilet area. This second light switch controls the fan, which I've talked about, and this third light switch controls my water pump. I have water tanks in my crawl space, and when the water gets to a certain point, the pump stops sucking the water, but the pump continues to run. And before, I would have to like go down, crawl into that space to shut the light switch off, which controlled that pump, so that it wouldn't just keep pumping air, basically, because it won't shut off until it hits a certain PSI. So I installed an emergency shut off right here to turn that pump off. Also, if I ever have my sprinkler systems go off by accident, I can just flip that light switch and it'll slow the water down. Obviously, water won't stop coming out. I've thought about hooking up too much information right here, but I've got a release valve downstairs to just drain all the water out. I thought about hooking something up on the inside of this wall that I hit, and it'll drain all the water out of the whole house. So if I have a water issue nightmare, I can shut it off and drain the whole system within 5-10 seconds. In the bathroom, I've got a 15 amp GFI. Again, I'm within 3 feet of a water source, so I want to have GFI. And I've got a light switch. This light switch will control these lights right here, and that will highlight the sinking area. When I'm shaving, I'll be able to light up a little bit better. Light up a little bit better. What are you lighting up, Dan?
Daniel, you're not smoking the pots, are you?
Ah! A lot of these light switches that I've installed are not on dimmer switches. That's something that you can change out very easily. Just undo it and do the thingies over again. Very easy to redo. So if this needs to be put on a dimmer switch, I can. These are not LED lights again. Any of these specialty ones. These LED bulbs are like $10, $15 each, and I've got like 30 of them. So one day I might switch those over to LED to be a little bit more efficient. So right here's my washer and dryer. I've got an outlet right here for an iron and maybe something else, I don't know. Washer is going to plug into this. These are just 15 amps. If I do need to up the amperage to 20 amps, it's very easy for me to rerun some wire, hide it inside a trim and stuff like that, because I've got this elevated floor. So I'm not too concerned that I went with too low of amperage on some of these. It'll be all right, but this one and this one both need to be switched over to GFIs because this water is within 3 feet, right? But basically all of them need to be GFI because everything's 3 feet. Now that washer and dryer is like 27 inches. I'm lying to you, I don't know, but maybe about that big to that tall. And then this remaining space right here will be my closets. So I've got an outlet for his and her, or her and his hers and his closets. I'm single. So inside each closet will be outlets to plug anything that you might want to plug in. So I'm not going to show you in the bedroom until the house is completely done. But down there I've got 2 of these lights on each side of the headboard, basically, with their own separate light switch. So if you're laying in bed and you want like a reading lamp, you can just flip a light switch and that'll light it up. These things are perfect size for a tiny house. They're pretty small. And then also the same light bar that I have above the sink right here with the 4 lights, I've got 2 of those in the bedroom. And those are mounted on a dimmer switch, which this light switch over here controls, so I can change the mood in the bedroom with the lighting. So I've talked a little bit about the mood in a tiny house. Tiny houses are so small that having different options with your lighting can totally change the environment that you're in. So having dimmer switches on all your lights so you can make it a little bit more romantic. You know what I mean? You put that on right there. Imagine this on a dimmer switch. You know, shut this off. Just want to relax, have some popcorn, sit on the couch, watch a movie, kill this light right here, it's a romantic little space. Doesn't really look great in the video, but having different types of lightings and everything on dimmer switches to control what kind of mood you're putting off, I think's great. Having lamps in your house is such a waste of space. I mean, this right here is a small lamp, but if you were to put this on your floor, that takes up almost a square foot. You've got 160 square feet, and you're going to use one of those for a lamp. So not using lamps is really crucial, I think, in a tiny house. So you're utilizing wall space to run wires, and you're using ceiling and wall space to have lights and light switches. Best utilizes the space in which you have. Peanut, you aren't in the video.
I'm right here.
Is it raining out?
No, I just got sprayed by a skunk.
So I hope that video was kind of helpful with planning your lighting and your outlets and stuff like that, and for what you'll need it for. I've had the benefit of living in this house for a year. Yeah, I've been in this house for over a year now, so I've gotten to feel it out, figure out what I want. Some things I haven't been able to feel out. You know, having a couch in this corner and a TV on the wall and experiencing that and what would work best, but kind of going from previous experiences in life, I feel like what I've set up will work well for my needs. When I purchased all that electrical stuff, I spent about $1,000. I went back, spent about $500, and I went back and spent another $500. So the electrical wiring in this house, not including the things that you plug in and hook up, but I spent about $2,000, and I ran almost 1,000 feet of wire, which is insane. If you were to see what's inside these walls, it's insane. It's absolutely impressive, and everything works, which is good. If you guys watch that documentary Tiny on Netflix, and the guy had finished his whole house, and then he plugged his house into power finally to test out his wires. That's insane, because you don't know, what if something doesn't work? You can't change it out. So having everything hooked up, making sure everything works before you close it in, especially if you're going to do it yourself, it's a good way to prevent any problems that you could have. Can you come up here and sit on the bench?
I cannot sit on the benches. What do you think I am, an elf on a shelter? No. Get it off.
Oh, good girl. Look at you.
I'm gonna pee, Dad. I'm shaking. I'm out of here.
But thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're new to my channel and you like this content, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Like it. Please please hit that like button. It's very important to YouTube creators that you hit that like button, comment, and share. Very important 3 steps that you need to do to help grow the channel. If you don't like the channel, well, don't do any of those.